Imagine if, just by improving yourself by 1% every single day, you could become 37 times better in a year. Sounds unbelievable, right? But this is the power of small, consistent actions. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a day and underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. That's why they quit too soon. But success isn't about massive leaps. It's about daily progress. Today I'm going to show you a simple, proven strategy to improve yourself by just 1% every day and achieve extraordinary results over time. Let's dive in. Step 1. Small wins lead to big success. Most people believe that success comes from one big life-changing event, winning the lottery, getting a dream job overnight, or suddenly becoming an expert in their field. But the truth is, real success is built on a foundation of small, consistent wins. These small wins, though seemingly insignificant at the moment, create momentum and compound over time into something truly extraordinary. When you focus on making small improvements every day, you eliminate the overwhelming pressure of drastic changes. Instead of trying to master a new skill overnight, you dedicate a few minutes each day to practice. Instead of attempting to lose 50 pounds in a month, you commit to making slightly better food choices and exercising just a little more each day. These small victories may not seem like much in the short term, but they build confidence and create a sense of progress which fuels further action. Psychologically, small wins trigger a positive feedback loop in the brain. Every time you achieve a minor goal, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical. This reward system reinforces the habit, making it easier to stay consistent. The more you succeed in small ways, the more motivated you become to keep pushing forward. Before you know it, what once seemed like an impossible goal becomes achievable because you built a solid foundation of success through incremental progress. In professional settings, small wins are often the driving force behind major achievements. Take a business, for example. A company doesn't become a market leader overnight. It grows through continuous improvements, enhancing products slightly, refining customer service, improving marketing strategies, and streamlining operations bit by bit. Each improvement on its own may seem trivial, but together they create an unstoppable force that leads to massive success. The same principle applies to personal development. If you dedicate just 10 minutes a day to learning a new language, in a year you'll have spent over 60 hours improving your skills. If you save a small amount of money every week, over time it grows into a substantial sum. The key is to remain consistent and trust the process even when progress feels slow. Many people quit too early because they expect instant results. But those who understand the power of small wins know that success is not about giant leaps. It's about steady, incremental progress. Each small step forward is a step closer to your goal. And when you look back, you'll realize just how far you've come without even noticing it. Step 2, the magic of compounding growth. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions over time because they don't see immediate results. They believe that success requires massive efforts or sudden breakthroughs. But in reality, the greatest achievements in life come from steady, incremental growth, something known as the power of compounding. This principle is what makes small daily improvements turn into extraordinary results over time. Compounding is often associated with finance, where small, regular investments grow exponentially due to accumulated interest. But this concept applies to personal development, skills, knowledge, habits, and virtually every aspect of life. The idea is simple. If you improve by just 1% every day, the progress you make doesn't add up in a linear fashion, it multiplies. Instead of being 365% better at the end of the year, you become nearly 37 times better because each day's improvement builds upon the previous day's growth. This happens because of a reinforcing cycle. When you put in a little effort today, it doesn't just give you results for today. It makes tomorrow's efforts easier and more effective. Think of learning a new skill. At first, it's difficult and progress is slow, but each time you practice, you're not starting from zero. You're building on what you learned before, and over time, the process becomes smoother and faster. Consider fitness. If you start with just a 5-minute workout, it might feel insignificant, but if you increase the duration or intensity slightly each day, your strength and endurance will improve. After a few months, the difference is huge. The same goes for reading. If you read just 10 pages a day, it may not seem like much, but by the end of the year, you will have read over 3,600 pages, equivalent to 10, 15 books. That kind of knowledge can transform your perspective, career, and opportunities. Compounding growth also applies to habits. When you start a new habit, it feels difficult at first, but as you repeat it, your brain adapts, making it easier over time. Eventually, what once required effort becomes automatic, and you can build upon it. For example, waking up early might be a struggle in the beginning, but once your body adjusts, it becomes second nature. Once that habit is in place, you can add a morning routine that includes exercise, reading, or journaling, which further enhances your growth. One of the most important aspects of compounding growth is patience. Many people quit before they see the benefits because early progress is often invisible. Imagine a bamboo tree. It stays underground for years, growing an extensive root system before it shoots up suddenly. People who don't understand this principle may give up too soon, believing their efforts aren't making a difference. But those who persist eventually reach a point where their growth accelerates beyond anything they imagined. The key to making compounding work for you is to stay consistent. Small efforts may not seem significant in the moment, but over time they create unstoppable momentum. The longer you stick with it, the more powerful the results become. Step 3, build discipline, not just motivation. Most people rely on motivation to take action, believing that they need to feel inspired before they can start working toward their goals. But motivation is fleeting. It comes in waves, often sparked by an emotional high, a compelling speech, or a sudden burst of inspiration. While motivation can get you started, it is not reliable enough to sustain long-term progress. This is where discipline becomes essential. Discipline is the ability to take consistent action regardless of how you feel. Unlike motivation, which fluctuates based on emotions, discipline is built through repeated behaviors and habits. It is what keeps you moving forward even when you don't feel like it. Think about top athletes, successful entrepreneurs, or world-class performers. They don't always feel like training, working, or practicing, but they do it anyway. They have trained themselves to take action whether they are in the mood or not. The reason discipline is so powerful is that it removes the need for decision-making. When you rely on motivation, you constantly ask yourself, do I feel like doing this today? If the answer is no, you procrastinate. But with discipline, the question disappears. You don't ask yourself if you feel like doing something, you just do it because it's part of your routine. This is how highly successful people operate. They don't wait for inspiration, they create systems and habits that keep them on track. Building discipline starts with small commitments. If you want to exercise regularly, don't rely on bursts of motivation to hit the gym. Set a fixed schedule and follow it no matter what. Even on days when you don't feel like working out, commit to showing up and doing something. Even if it's a shorter session, the key is consistency, not perfection. Over time, your brain adapts and the habit becomes automatic. One of the biggest reasons people fail to develop discipline is that they rely too much on willpower. Willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired when overused. If you constantly force yourself to make difficult decisions, you'll eventually give in to temptation. Instead, create an environment that makes discipline easier. If you want to read more, keep books within reach. If you want to eat healthier, remove junk food from your home. By designing your environment to support your goals, you reduce the need for constant self-control. Another important aspect of discipline is accountability. When you hold yourself accountable, whether by tracking your progress, setting deadlines, or involving others, you are more likely to stay committed. This is why athletes have coaches, entrepreneurs have mentors, and people who achieve big goals often have support systems in place. When you make your commitments public or have someone to check in with, you increase your chances of following through. The truth is, discipline is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't. While motivation gets you excited, discipline keeps you going when excitement fades. Step 4, take full responsibility. One of the most important principles of success is taking full responsibility for your life. Most people blame circumstances, luck, or other people for their struggles, but the truth is, the moment you shift your mindset and take ownership of everything in your life, you gain the power to change it. Successful people don't waste time making excuses or pointing fingers. They understand that their results are a direct reflection of their choices, actions, and mindset. Taking full responsibility means accepting that everything happening in your life, your successes, failures, financial situation, relationships, health, and personal growth, is the result of the decisions you have made. It may be uncomfortable to admit, but as long as you believe that external factors are in control, you give away your power. When you take ownership, you move from being a passive observer to an active creator of your future. Many people fall into the trap of blaming others for their problems. They blame their boss for not giving them a raise, the economy for their financial struggles, or their upbringing for their lack of success. While external factors do play a role, they are not the determining factor. There are people who have faced worse conditions and still achieved greatness because they refused to let circumstances define them. They focused on what they could control and took action accordingly. Taking responsibility also means owning your mistakes. Everyone makes poor decisions at some point, but instead of dwelling on them or blaming others, successful individuals learn from their failures. They analyze what went wrong, make adjustments, and move forward. They don't waste time complaining about the past because they understand that their future is shaped by the actions they take today. This mindset also applies to personal development. If you're not where you want to be in life, it's not because of luck or fate. It's because of the choices you've made. If you're not in great shape, it's a result of your eating and exercise habits. If your finances are not in order, it's because of how you've managed your money. If your relationships are struggling, it's because of the way you've handled them. The good news is, once you take responsibility, you can start making better choices and changing your future. Taking responsibility is not about being hard on yourself or feeling guilty. It's about empowerment. When you stop making excuses and start looking for solutions, you develop a mindset of growth. Instead of saying, I can't do this because of my circumstances, you start asking, what can I do to change my situation? That shift in thinking makes all the difference. Another important aspect of responsibility is taking control of your emotions and reactions. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. Life will throw challenges your way, but instead of feeling like a victim, take charge of how you react. Whether it's a financial setback, a failed project, or a personal struggle, your response determines your future. People who take responsibility don't wait for someone else to fix their problems. They don't wait for perfect conditions to take action. They make things happen even when the odds are against them. When you adopt this mindset, you become unstoppable because you realize that no one else is responsible for your success, only you. Step 5, develop success habits. Success is not the result of luck, talent, or one-time actions. It is the product of consistent habits practiced over time. The habits you develop shape your future because they determine the actions you take every single day. While most people chase motivation or quick fixes, truly successful individuals focus on building habits that move them closer to their goals, no matter how small those actions may seem at first. Every highly successful person follows a set of daily habits that align with their vision. They don't wake up each day wondering what to do next. They already have routines in place that push them toward progress. These habits don't happen by accident. They are intentionally developed and repeated until they become automatic. Just like brushing your teeth or driving a car, success habits become second nature once they are ingrained in your daily life. One of the most important aspects of developing success habits is consistency. A small positive action done daily is far more powerful than a big effort done once in a while. Reading one page of a book each day may not seem like much, but over time, it leads to an immense amount of knowledge. Exercising for just 15 minutes daily may feel insignificant at first, but over months and years, it transforms your health. The power of habits lies in their ability to compound over time. Building success habits starts with self-awareness. You must first identify which habits are currently shaping your life and whether they are helping or hurting you. Many people have unconscious habits that are holding them back. Procrastination, negative self-talk, or unhealthy routines. Becoming aware of these patterns is the first step to changing them. Once you recognize the habits that need to be eliminated, you can start replacing them with new positive ones. The key to making a habit stick is starting small. Many people fail at developing new habits because they try to change everything at once. They set unrealistic goals like reading for 2 hours a day, waking up at 5 a.m., or working out for an hour daily, only to burn out within a few days. Instead, the best way to build habits is by starting with something so small that it's impossible to fail. If you want to start exercising, begin with 5 push-ups a day. If you want to start reading, commit to just 1 page per day. These tiny actions might seem trivial, but they create momentum. Once the habit is established, you can gradually increase the intensity. Another critical factor in developing success habits is removing friction. The easier a habit is to do, the more likely you are to stick with it. If you want to exercise regularly, set out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to read more, keep a book on your bedside table. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nutritious foods. Making small adjustments to your environment can have a huge impact on your ability to maintain good habits. Accountability also plays a major role in habit formation. When you track your progress or involve someone else in your journey, you are far more likely to stay consistent. Keeping a habit tracker, setting reminders, or having a friend check in on your progress creates an extra layer of motivation. Successful people often surround themselves with like-minded individuals who push them to be better. Being in an environment where good habits are the norm makes it much easier to adopt and maintain them. The most successful individuals in any field are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who have mastered the discipline of repeating small actions every single day. They don't rely on willpower or motivation to get things done. They rely on the habits they have built over time. Once a success habit is fully ingrained, it becomes effortless. And that's when transformation happens. Step 6, measure, adjust, and stay consistent. Success is not just about setting goals and working hard. It's about continuously measuring progress, making adjustments, and staying consistent over time. Many people start with enthusiasm, but without tracking their efforts, they lose direction. Others work hard, but fail to analyze whether their methods are actually effective. True success comes from constant evaluation and refinement, ensuring that each step you take brings you closer to your ultimate goal. Measuring progress is crucial because it provides clarity. If you don't track what you're doing, you have no way of knowing whether you're improving or stagnating. Imagine a business that never checks its financial reports. It wouldn't know if it's making a profit or heading toward bankruptcy. The same applies to personal growth. Whether you're trying to improve your fitness, finances, skills, or productivity, keeping track of your progress allows you to see what's working and what needs adjustment. The best way to measure progress is by setting clear, specific metrics. Vague goals like, I want to get better at my job, or I want to be healthier, are hard to track. Instead, define measurable indicators. I will complete 3 professional development courses this year. Or I will exercise for 30 minutes 5 times a week. When your progress is measurable, you can objectively assess whether you are on track or if you need to make changes. Tracking progress also provides motivation. When you see tangible results, no matter how small, you build momentum. It's easy to feel discouraged when improvement seems slow, but keeping records of your progress allows you to look back and see how far you've come. This reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed and keeps you committed to your journey. However, measuring progress is only the first step. The next crucial step is adjusting your approach when necessary. Many people make the mistake of sticking to a plan even when it's not yielding results. If something isn't working, instead of giving up, the key is to analyze the situation and make strategic adjustments. For example, if you've been following a diet but aren't losing weight, rather than quitting altogether, you need to assess what's going wrong. Are you consuming hidden calories? Are you eating too much of the wrong types of food? Once you identify the issue, you can adjust your strategy. The same principle applies to learning a skill. If your current study method isn't helping you retain information, try a different approach. Perhaps using active recall instead of passive reading. Successful people embrace flexibility. They don't see adjustments as failures, but as necessary course corrections. The ability to adapt is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who remain stuck. Sticking rigidly to a plan that isn't working is not discipline, it's inefficiency. Success is about making intelligent changes based on what the data tells you. The final and most important factor is consistency. Many people start strong but fail to maintain their efforts over the long term. They get excited about a new project, hobby, or fitness routine, but when progress slows down, they lose interest. The truth is, success is built over time through sustained effort, even when results aren't immediately visible. Consistency means showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It means continuing to put in the work, even when motivation fades. It means understanding that growth is not always linear. There will be ups and downs, slow periods, and moments of doubt. But those who keep going, making small improvements along the way, are the ones who eventually achieve greatness. Many people give up too soon because they expect quick results. But success follows the principle of delayed gratification. At first, it may feel like nothing is happening, but every small effort is adding up behind the scenes. Like a tree that takes time to grow its roots before it breaks through the soil, progress is happening even when it's not immediately visible. Those who trust the process, measure their results, make adjustments, and remain consistent will always outperform those who rely on occasional bursts of effort. Success isn't built overnight, and it isn't the result of one big breakthrough. It's the outcome of small, consistent actions taken every day. When you commit to improving yourself just 1% daily, those small changes compound into extraordinary results. By focusing on small wins, embracing the power of compounding growth, building discipline, taking full responsibility, developing success habits, and continuously measuring and adjusting your progress, you set yourself up for unstoppable success. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or intelligence. It's the willingness to show up every day and put in the work even when no one is watching. The real question is, are you willing to take control of your future and commit to daily improvement? Because if you do, there is no limit to what you can achieve.